Hi everybody, thanks for tuning into my channel. Tonight we are going to do a adoption question and answer session to let everybody know why we've chosen the adoption process and to tell you a little bit about it and stuff like that. So this is John, you all know John. That's my husband.
In case you didn't understand that, I am her husband,
That's
John.
my husband.
This is my wife, Naomi.
Mhm.
And narrating for us, we have my mother-in-law, her mother, Charla.
Yeah. So my mom's going to be reading us the questions. We have 10 questions and then a little bit at the end if you want to support our adoption process. So, okay, go ahead. Number 1.
Okay, why did you choose to adopt?
This is a together question.
Yeah, I know.
I think we chose to adopt primarily because we wanted to give a child a home. A lot of people adopt as like a last resort, so they have their own kids, they have a really stable life, everything is good, and so they say, well, I guess we could adopt. We wanted to adopt before then. We wanted to make adoption our number one option, our number one choice. But I do have some fertility problems. You guys know all that if you watch Healthy Living. I have PCOS, and that makes it pretty hard to get pregnant. It's not impossible, but it makes it difficult. So that's kind of, I think, the main reasons.
I'm getting up there in age. I'm 31.
Oh, yeah, he's old.
Besides that, there are some other reasons. Of course, what Naomi said, but also there's some God things back behind there. God adopted us, and I think it's something that we can do for those around us. I was just reading some statistics on adoptions, and it's insane how many children are aborted and how many children go into foster care and all the negative things. So if we can make a difference in just one kid's life,
or 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 or 12.
She's springing this on me right now. Then we'll do it. But that's our reason.
Yeah. Okay, question 2.
What are you the most nervous about?
I think nervous in the process. I'm nervous that it will take a long time for a birth family to pick us. So sometimes it can take, sometimes people get picked within 2 weeks and sometimes people get picked within 2 years. And I think for me, I just don't want it to take forever. I don't do well with stuff taking forever, and I don't know. I'm just kind of nervous that it'll take a while, and that when we're a pretty conservative couple, we have very religious views and conservative in the world's viewpoint, and so sometimes it's a little nerve-wracking thinking that the birth mother will come in and we're not liberal enough for her, and so she'll pick somebody else just because we don't fit in with her views exactly, not because we're good parents, but because we may not agree on something specifically with her. So that's I think what I'm nervous about the most.
I'm nervous about the end game. There's an extended period of time after the child's placed with us that the birth parents can change their mind. Everything else, the application process, I feel really confident in. The payment, I feel confident in. I'm not concerned about that. It's just that end period that's really problematic. There could be something negative, and that would be really hard on us if we get a child. As I know, once that baby is in our arms, we're going to love that baby. We're going to be completely in love. And for the birth parents to say, we've changed our mind, it is their right, but it would be very difficult for us to take that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm most nervous about.
Yeah. What are you most excited about?
I think I am most excited about, being a mom, first and foremost, is super exciting for me. I am a nanny. Everybody, I think you guys all know that I'm a nanny. And sometimes it's really hard seeing the little kids I nanny. They want their mommies most. And I am most excited that our baby will want me most. And, they get to run up to me at the end of the day versus I have to let them go and they run up to their moms at the end of the day. So I think that's what I'm most excited about.
I'm mostly excited about, again, the end game. I mean, it's kind of a love-hate, I guess. I really don't want to have to deal with that possibility, but to have a child. I'm ready to be a father, having the baby, coming home to a family, that whole family dynamic. That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Why did you choose local domestic adoption?
We primarily chose local domestic because of the cost. The cost is really, it's really expensive if you choose to go outside of the U.S. And get a baby. A lot of people choose international adoption because they want to guarantee that the child look like them. We chose local, one, because it's cheaper, and two, because there are so many kids right around our area that need homes. Um, yeah.
I would really agree. That's pretty much the only reason was money. We don't. There's not really anything else that bothers us.
Yeah, we don't really
Financial
care.
reasons.
Yeah, probably.
Why does adoption cost so much?
What do you think the main reason would be?
Well, the people that work in the adoption agency aren't just people who woke up one day and said, I think I'll start an adoption agency.
Mm-hmm.
They're very well qualified. They have experience. They're educated. They're social workers. There's a lot of money that goes into that. The home study, you actually have a social worker going there. The education process, a lot of it is legal fees to have everything finalized. They're covering all those legal fees, and a large portion of it, the adoption agency that we're working with, kind of houses that birth parent. If it's just the mother, houses the mother while she's having the baby. So we cover a lot of the healthcare costs if she doesn't have healthcare.
Yeah, that can be up to $6,000. Like just right at the end, you can have. It's between nothing and $6,000 of just birth mother costs. And so, if she can't afford to have the baby and we're wanting a child, then of course it's our job to help her with that, and we want to help her with that. So, I mean, that's just a small portion of why it kind of costs so much.
Do you care what the baby's going to look like?
I don't care what the baby looks like at all. We selected everything. Like, we don't really care what it looks like. I've always kind of envisioned an African American baby. I just think they're really cute and they're really pretty, and I think it would be a neat contrast with my skin being so pale to have, a darker skinned baby, but I don't care at all.
I don't care either. You may have noticed by now we're an interracial couple. I never see it that way because I've always thought I was white. I talk white, and whenever, during the winter, I guess I look white with black hair. I'm actually Hispanic, so we don't really care. I'm going for human baby. I'll take that.
Human baby, any baby. We'll take any baby, please.
So, what kind of parents do you want to be to this human baby?
I want to be. Let me start with what I don't want to be. I don't want to be the mom in the grocery store that everybody looks at and goes, man, she's not put together. Like I'm fumbling to just try to find a diaper, or, I look totally trashy and my kid doesn't have shoes, or, they have food all over their face. Like, I want to be the mom that is put together. I want to be a put together mother. That's it. That's all I want.
See how that goes.
Confidence.
As far as a father goes, I don't want to be the dad that I walk in, I walk into the house after work and my kids cower and they're scared of me because I've had a terrible day and I take it out on my kids. I don't want to do that. I do want to be a conscientious discipliner, respectful, kind, those kinds of things, but also understanding that discipline is essential. Next, I want to be one that respects my wife. Regardless of what gender the baby is, a boy or girl, the child can learn something from our relationship. If it's to respect women, if he's a boy, he's going to learn to respect women by the way that I treat my wife. If it's a girl, she's going to know what kind of man to look for, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So I want to be that kind of father, but I also want to be a fun dad.
You will be a fun dad.
Find ways to teach little life lessons that my kids will remember.
Yeah. Also, story time. We really want to do story time at night. That's important to us.
And
Did you
McDonald's
ever-
runs.
And McDonald's runs. No. No, that's not healthy. This is healthy living, dude. Healthy living. Okay, next question.
Did you ever imagine that you would adopt?
I always imagined that I would adopt. I think that's because my brother's adopted, Levi. I don't know if he's been in a video before, but we got him the day he was born, and I was 8. And growing up with a sibling that's adopted, it was a really eye-opening experience because you know people portray it like it feels different and it doesn't feel any different, and so to just kind of be a part of that process as a kid, it just makes you want to be a part of that process as a grown-up where you get to decide how it goes, and so that's always been super important to me.
I don't think I ever had like a defining period in which I said I'm going to adopt. But looking back at my life, I feel like I adopted a lot of my friends as brothers, and I've known people that have been adopted, and I know that to them, their birth parents are just as much, if they knew them, just as much their parents as their adopted parents are. So I don't think I knew from the get-go that adoption was an option, but I'm totally not against it.
That's a good thing.
Yep.
Okay.
What age are you looking to adopt and why?
So we decided to go for an infant. And an infant, when you look it up, it's kind of between birth and 12 months. I personally would have gone for a little bit older, putting our age maybe at 2. But he has never gotten to experience an infant before. With me being a nanny and having, my brother when I was a little bit older, I've gotten to be around babies my whole life. So I kind of feel like I've done the infant stage. And if I got to sleep through the night, selfishly, that would be really cool. But I wanted him to get to experience a child from infancy and get to see all those first steps and stuff.
Well, I have to admit that at first, an older child was kind of appealing because I didn't have to deal with, holding the baby and the baby drooling all over me and me gagging or having to change dirty diapers or, clean up vomit, that kind of stuff. But, I mean, that's part of parenthood, so, and she's right. I haven't been around infants a whole lot. I mean, I used to
He
think
holds
that
a baby like this.
I'm very protective. I'm very protective. And I really, when I used to hold babies like 6 years ago, I finally decided, I got to start holding people's babies. That sounds really bad, but people would always say, hey, you want to hold my baby? And I'm like, well, I don't know. And I was afraid their head would fall off because their heads are like disproportionately large compared to their bodies.
Yeah.
Anyways, I forgot where I was going with that.
It's good that we're getting an infant.
Yeah, I do want to experience that kind of stuff. I've got to looking forward to those dirty diapers and that vomit.
Well, and
all
primarily when you do infant adoption, you get an infant. So even though we've put up to 12 months, what happens is a birth mother contacts the agency and she's pregnant and going to give birth. And so then as adoptive parents, we will get the child at birth. So it's a little bit less and less when you're choosing just adoption instead of the foster to adopt that you get an older kid if you put infant. So, okay.
What are you dreading the most after the baby comes?
You go first.
Missing firsts. I already work a job that has quite a few hours, and during the summer, that'll probably be more so. And depending on how old the baby is, I know that I may miss, first steps, first words, those kinds of things. And I know that Naomi will FaceTime me or something, and I'll get to see those things. But I don't like the idea of missing out on so much of the younger years of our child.
Mm-hmm. I don't really know what I'm dreading the most. I've waited so long to have a baby that it's hard to be like, oh yeah, no, can't wait for that. I mean, I guess if they're sick, that makes me nervous, but I think that makes any mom nervous. Not getting sleep. I love sleep. I have to have 8 hours of sleep a night at least, or I just don't function.
And if she doesn't, she goes,
yeah.
in the middle
He
of the
says
night.
I cry at night if I get woken up, but I don't believe him. But that's kind of hard for me, so I don't really know. I mean, I know I'll adjust, I don't necessarily know that I'm dreading it, though. I don't really feel like I'm dreading anything. I'm just really excited. Ask me, when we've had the baby for 4 months, if I'm dreading something. Maybe I'll have an answer, but I don't really have one for that. So, is that all of them? Okay. Well, I hope you guys have really enjoyed our question and answer adoption session. If you have any more questions, you can definitely comment in the comments below, and we can try to answer those for you guys. We did want to mention that we have started a GoFundMe page to help fund our adoption. I'll be straightforward and honest. It's about $27,000, and it's due pretty quickly. The first payment is due within 6 weeks, and that's about $10,000. So we've already started the process of getting a loan, and that. So hopefully we get approved for that. But if you want to help financially, you can visit us at GoFundMe. Our page is called the Picones Adoption Fund, and I'll put a link below so that you can click on that if you want to go look at it. And we tell our story a little bit more. Or if you don't want to give, or if you can't give financially, we're always asking for prayers, lots of prayers, because it's very overwhelming. I mean, last night we were sitting at this table with paperwork literally all over the place, and we were just signing our names, and I would sign and hand the sheet to him, and then he would sign and put the sheet in this is our folder. This is just step 1 of our folder. So it has like all of our papers and stuff that we have to get in, and then this is don't laugh, but it's my little adoption money. So any money that I make goes into this little adoption money envelope that I take to the bank and put in a little file. Maybe I was just nervous and needed to like color something. I don't know, but
Don't let her fool you. That's not like a manila envelope. What kind of tape?
I spent like an hour taping it.
That's tape.
It's tape.
That's masking tape.
I taped the envelope. Anyway, whatever. We just want to say thank you again for tuning into Healthy Living.
Before we go, we appreciate your prayers, your comments. If you want to go to the GoFundMe page, we'd appreciate that. Also know that it's kind of a $6,000 variable. We're taking out a loan, but there's like a chance that there's between $0 and $6,000 that goes towards the birth mother.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know if that's going to be there or not. That's really why we're starting the GoFundMe page. But please like, share, comment if you have related experiences, if you've adopted. We can use all the support that we could get. Don't think that too little money is too little. We'll take pretty well anything.
Yeah, and we just want to get our story out there.
Yeah, and please share your story as well. We know that it really helps when you know that somebody else struggles in the same way that you have. So we'll accept encouragement, advice, kind words, all those things. We really appreciate everything that you guys are doing for us.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, happy living, healthy living. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.